Ay, qué buenas son las fiestas en los campos de mi, de esta linda melodía, te la voy a dedicar. Como, como me gustan las mami.
She is so pretty. Look at this beauty. Hi, friends. I don't know what it is that makes me forget my thoughts and the things that I want to say when I get in front of the camera, in whatever language I try to do that. I don't know if I am holding on to an expectation, maybe, or I don't fucking know. And I would just very much like to let that shit go. Like, sometimes I question myself, like, okay, so why did you then turn it on? Why did you turn on the camera for if you're not gonna say anything, right? I was always a very intuitive child, and I I grew up surrounded by very religious people at an early age, and this impacted my life so much that I carried a lot of that religious mentality with me into adulthood. And that kind of, it made me question myself on everything, the impact those individuals had in my life at an early age. It made me question my intuition. It made me question the things that I was actually feeling and what I should have felt. So that definitely, well, overall, I am healing my relationship with my inner guide. And in that, I think this is just coming through right now. In that, I find myself trying to question my calling more than answering it. Why do I feel like I'm being called to certain things in certain areas when I don't know how to? Yet, I'm being called to that. I'm being called to get in front of a camera and talk. I'm being called to pour into certain areas like my creativity, my creative nature, like meditation, like movement. And sometimes I question myself as to why am I being called to this? And maybe that's a message in itself. I need to stop questioning the why and just do. Because when I question so much, I get stuck in trying to figure out the answer to something that I feel I should be enjoying the process of, that I should be doing, and that I'm feeling called to do. So I've had this tendency in my life of asking so many questions and getting stuck on trying to find the answer to those questions. And I think truly I need to stop doing that, to stop asking why, you know, and just, and yeah, that's also part of healing my relationship with my intuition and how my intuition guides me and how I listen to it. I spend more time questioning my calling and trying to find answers to those questions that I create in my head than answering my calling. And that has been a waste of time and a waste of energy. And also, it has been a limitation. Yeah. Le di al clavo, básicamente, ahora mismo. That's what it is. So I'm going to share something that I wrote the other day. We'll see how I edit this video, but I'm going to share something that I wrote the other day after I took a shower, and it's in regards to shame and releasing shame, because that has been a topic that has come up with me recently. As I venture into a new area of being, of creating myself, of creativity, I have found myself feeling shame. And I have come to the realization of how shame has held me back for so many years. Releasing the shame of not being an expert right away, in being a beginner and going through the process of learning. And it can take months and years to even make sense of what has been learned. And an example of that is right now. Right now, how I put together the fact that I have been, for so many years, trying to question my calling instead of answering it. And that has held me back so much from doing the things that are my purpose in life, from doing the things that I am being called to do that will probably make a meaningful change in my life and the lives of others. So I've gotten lost in some of the emotions that learning can bring to me. But the emotion of not being good at something from the start, from the beginning, of being so bad that looking at the picture or at the video or at the voice in front of me makes me cringe. So I've had to work on being intentional in my work and my thoughts. My goodness gracious. I'm reading this long paragraph. Like I would like it to look fluent when I am editing the video, and not that I'm like looking down at what I wrote. You see, and that's the thing about wanting to be, or actually wanting to be seen as somebody who knows what the heck she's talking about. And that's the thing when you're starting out, you have to let go of wanting to be seen as something that you are not yet. Because that is the reality, that is the truth. I don't know yet how to get in front of a camera and just go off one little point I may write somewhere, a statement, and just talk and talk based on that and make it make sense. But it's because I have not gotten in front of a camera ever and done that. I have not practiced enough. So, reality check right there. So, like I was saying, I've had to work, I'm just going to read it. I've had to work on being intentional in my work and my thoughts when it comes to learning, and switching those thoughts to ones that truly push me to embrace the process of learning has been another learning process itself. And it's weird that when you start to learn one thing, it opens many doors to learn so many other things that will eventually help you put together what you intentionally set out to learn. So, to learn how to draw, you have to learn shapes and you have to learn shadowing, and so on and so forth. So, a realization that I recently had that I've been holding on to every time I want to give up because I think things are not going my way or the way I think they should be going, is that to learn something is to accept the fact that I will always be a student. And mastering those skills does not stop the learning. That learning is not the last stop on the bus, and it's not the only stop. So I am blessed to get on the bus and make stops here and there and get on it again and again and again, because the way is never linear. So that's my thought that came to me when I was taking a shower the other day, and I was reflecting on that, on how many times I've stopped myself from doing something that I actually enjoy because I genuinely don't want to be a beginner for as long as it takes. Okay? I've wanted to be an expert from the beginning, and it truly is a reality check that that's not the way things work. And accepting that, I think is definitely a first step towards moving forward. And it is a humbling experience because I don't know shit. And in order for me to learn, I have to practice and I have to get experience and I have to fail and try again. And it's like in this reality, in this technology advanced world that we live on, it's easy to forget because there is so much information out there that looking like an expert that you actually forget that having expertise in whatever area takes years and years. So we are so exposed to the information and to having information right away and to everybody's thoughts and opinion on how to do this and how to do that and the right way to do this and the right way to do that, that we forget that learning takes time, that learning takes months, years, and so much practice. So yeah, I think that I've had my reality check, and I think that I am now ready to move forward with accepting the fact that I am a student, that I will forever be a student, and how blessed I am to be a student, to learn, to dedicate time to answer my calling. I no longer want to question. I no longer want to question my calling. I just want to answer it. And maybe I don't know the whys, the how, but one thing I know is that to answer my calling, the first step to do that is to stop questioning it. I hope that this video, I don't know if it was confusing and whatnot, but I am in my 30s and I feel like I am starting over. I feel like I actually am starting over. I feel like for the very first time in my whole life, I am actually creating something that I love and I am doing something that I love. And it's really messy. It's chaotic. And I'm like, sometimes I focus too much on trying to organize the chaos in the making. And that in itself is also a distraction, honestly. It's like that saying of learning to dance in the rain. I've stopped to ask why it's raining for too long, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to dance in the rain.